Hey, what's up everybody? It's been a while. A lot have happened. And I basically changed jobs. I'm back at home. Still at home, I guess. If somebody watched the last videos. For the investing part, mostly it's gonna be the same, or like it was the same as before. I didn't make a lot of money. So I'm kinda steering away from that. Now I've maybe invested in more stocks, long-term sightings, or like more long-term visions. I also invested with a friend of mine, so I have like 2 portfolios there, nothing too much. But recently I've been actually more involved in crypto, and henceforth I'm kinda like changing the direction I want to go with maybe this channel if it ever takes off, but who knows. But for now I'm just really interested in the crypto space and what is happening there and the amount of money it's flowing into. And then especially for like projects, new projects that are starting like recently new. So I'm really looking into those for the moment, and I found out about interesting project I want to start like investigating and covering more for you guys, because I feel like there's a lag between the technical information there is and the understanding of the people. So I guess I have a pretty good technical understanding of how it works, and maybe I want to share that with you guys and see if that makes any sense, and we can both learn along the way. I guess this is not really like some tight planning or tight regime of what I want to do and what I want to cover, so I'm just also learning along the way. This is probably a good segue into telling that this is obviously not financial advice in any means or necessary for like all the videos I'm making. This is pure my opinion, my thoughts, my ideas, and what I'm looking for in a project, and I just want to share that with you guys. So I guess we're just gonna start first with the website. Just check it out, click all the buttons, see what's happening there, and kinda let you see how I start looking at the project, or how I started looking at this project. So how you start out any day in the crypto space is actually go to coinmarketcap.com, and this is just how you should always start the day, or like investing in any kind of cryptocurrency. Just take a look first at the overall 24-hour gains. So this is looking all green. This means like it's obviously in good time. There's been some difficult weeks, months, the last year, or like the last couple months obviously. So it's glad to see that we're actually making a bit of a return right now. As you can see, Bitcoin is obviously the main one we all want to track, even though in theory, or like ideally we wouldn't want to be dependent on Bitcoin. The reality is that like every coin is dependent on the pricing of Bitcoin, because yeah, basically all the big money, everything, all the publicity, all the known, how do you say it, like the awareness of people of cryptocurrencies is all just like, oh, it's Bitcoin. So obviously this is the main one we want to track if making any investment. And as you can see, the last couple of months it took a pretty hard beating. People are a bit scared still. Not a lot of money is flowing into it. Most money, and there's a lot of money that has gone out in the recent months. But as you can see, like obviously the big picture is still very bullish. So this kind of gives an idea of where we're at now for this week. It's been a pretty steady week actually, and you can see this in every cryptocurrency, especially in the project I'm gonna talk about next. But this is like a good sign. This mostly means like, okay, there's not a lot of panic anymore, the volatility is decreasing, and this means that there can be like stable price action, like just basically stable pricing that reflects actually the value of the underlying asset, or in this case coin. So yeah, I'm pretty much announcing then that I'm officially like a few months into the Frog Nation team. So this is actually the project I was looking at and was talking about. I'm really excited about this project because it's kind of interesting that you are able to be so early in such an advanced project, or like complex project, in the sense of this normally only exists in levels like corporate levels that we never can reach as an individual. But actually this project allows us to trade and basically do finance at a level that corporate institutions are able to. So this is pretty exciting. I found this project really exciting to be, because it's especially, like I said, you can invest in, for example, in other projects with this kind of token that are startups. So basically you wouldn't have access to it as an individual, as a retail investor. But as you can see, like the last months are obviously the same as Bitcoin. That's what I'm saying. Like you can even put the pricing of Bitcoin behind it and you can see it's pretty much the same. So the yellow line just compares actually the price of time compared to Bitcoin, so it's time divided by Bitcoin, and the red line is time divided by the dollar. So can kind of give you an idea of where the Bitcoin is at, and you can see it follows pretty nicely, meaning that they're really correlated. For example, if you would see the tracking of Bitcoin against a stable coin, this obviously would look more like Bitcoin itself. So you can see there's like really no correlation between the yellow and the green line here. So this is just actually the inverse. Yeah, this is inverse of Bitcoin. So that's what I kind of wanted to show. So the reason you always want to use CoinMarketCap, and this is also a big disclaimer, is because there's a lot of fraudulent and phishing sites and sites that want to scam you and send you tokens in your wallet, and suddenly you have this new token and you try to sell it, and instantly all your other assets are being sold to them. So this is one of the big lookouts, or what you want to do. Never trust any site or any person that is linked you anything. Always go through official sites, official statements by trustworthy people, and CoinMarketCap is one of the best ones with trustworthy sites that you can use. So for Wonderland, you want to go here, Wonderland time, and then you can see here to the left the official sites that are also where you can get your data or your information directly. So for the Wonderland time, we're going to this site, and I'm just going to give you all the things I'm looking at when starting this. The site is pretty nice. So before it was actually a war site, some people said, but I only joined when there was already a new site, so I was really intrigued by the first time I saw it. It's really simple, not too much. What we can see, total staked, this is the amount of time it is staked, 770,000. There's already 1.1 billion in the treasury. This is a good thing, because this is actually like in an investment fund, so we all deposit like money or different tokens in the treasury, and we get time for that. So time is the equivalent of what is in the treasury and what we can do with that money. So in this fund right now, there's already 1.1 billion. So this is really like a big hedge fund kind of treasury already, and they're promising like 86,000, 87,000% APY. So this means your average percentage yield, I guess. Not sure. APY. Let's look it up quickly. Annual percentage yield. Yeah. Okay. So I'll leave a definition of what it actually means, but basically it's what you would make after you would leave your money in there for 1 year. So the return on not the return on investment, but it actually has like compounding interest and stuff, but we'll talk about that later. This is too complex to really like quickly summarize it. So basically first you get here your official sites also, so these one you can trust. The Discord is really useful. I'm in there but just lurking. But they're also having a lot of announcements, a lot of Twitter updates on Discord, so it's really nice if you don't have like Twitter or doesn't actively follow Twitter. It's really easy to just look there, see what's popping, what's new, what's everybody excited about, and just like have your own opinion on it and think like, okay, this seems like a good thing, let's go for that. But we're just gonna enter the app. This always gives you a second site. This is totally fine. I know in the beginning I was like, why is it just not the same site? But there's probably a reason for it that I don't know, or not smart enough to know. So basically, let's go across the whole site. There's a lot of different things in here. Maybe we should actually start first with the docs. So this is probably one of the most important things to always do if you want to invest in a project and actually be an investor, not just a speculator. It's always start with the documentation. This really is a extended documentation. I've been through it in the beginning, but I will also go through it now. But this will probably take a lot of time, so I'm gonna do this in several parts, I guess, and then we can actually go through the main site and do the exciting stuff, because this is probably too boring for some people, but I think it's very good to understand what's happening and why it's all connected with each other, because like every aspect of this project is intertwined with other aspects of the project, if that makes sense, or other projects that also thrive in the same ecosystem as Wonderland. And this is mainly like on the AVAX, Phantom and Ethereum chain, I guess. I probably left out a couple of them, but it's really popping. So they're really doing a lot of updates every week, so I'm really excited about all the new stuff that's happening. But basically, let's get started with the documentation. So let's start with what is Wonderland. So Wonderland says it's a decentralized reserve currency protocol, and this is on the Avalanche network. If you're not familiar with the Avalanche network, this is like a cheaper network than Ethereum that tries also to make these kind of applications accessible to everybody, but with cheaper gas fees, so it's more interesting to quickly trade with them and make maybe more trades. This has like positives and negatives, because obviously if people trade quicker and can trade quicker, then there's a lot more fear and volatility sometimes than, for example, with Ethereum, that it's already more known, more stable, and has more like reliability in the sense of what people trust in the project. So this reserve currency protocol, actually, like most of the time people don't want to say this about time, that it's a reserve currency, because they're actually trying to detach themselves from that. This is used because the original fork, or the original code where everything built on Wonderland stems from, came from another project. This was called Olympus, and this was on the Ethereum network. So obviously there were higher gas fees there, and people had different kind of ideas of what to do with that project there. But mainly in this project from Wonderland, they want to create like a token representable of a basket of like different kind of assets. For example, their stablecoin, Magic Internet Money, and they also have like liquid pairs, liquidity providing pairs, I guess, something like that. And this is just basically providing two kind of tokens in a large amount, so that you provide liquidity for market, for decentralized exchanges or markets or something. So basically it's just assets that generate wealth, because for providing liquidity, these token holders are awarded a bonus, or like a fee. So basically we have like this big basket of all these different kind of tokens. This can also be Bitcoin, Ethereum, these are the more known ones, but mainly we'll go that over in another time, but mainly the most of the treasury is in stablecoins. So this means actually there's like a relevant intrinsic value that it can't really fall below, and that's what they say. But in theory, I think it can fall below because they're like Saifu, one of the main developers or like managers of a management team, said was that if the price dips fast enough, it can go below this backing price or this intrinsic value, and then they would manually have to automate, or they would manually have to start these buyback protocols to be able to get back this time and the price up. So there's always like the possibility that it can spike or like dip below the backing price of this treasury, but this is like obviously in practice this would be like negligible. Okay, so I'll make this a bit more clear. So basically we have this basket of different tokens. Some of them are paying us money, the treasury. Some of them are just stable coins with lower interests on them. But basically we have this kind of basket with all interest-bearing assets that produce wealth in the long term. And these time tokens, they represent the share of the basket that we get. So the backing price tells us what price or what amount of money is reserved for each time token there is. So if you have one time token and the backing price is $1,500, then there is $1,500 in assets worth for your time token. But that time token most likely would trade above this price because people like to pay a premium to be able to have this token that represents this share of the basket. But in theory, so I already said, or maybe I cut this out because I was really I wasn't really getting there with my point. There's like this intrinsic value, and they state that it cannot go below this value, but they already said the buyback programs or protocols are manual work. So this means like there's always a delay time on it. They can't stay awake 24/7 or respond instantly in comparison to an automated buyback program. But they're working on it. So in the near future or in the future, this would obviously be automated. And it cannot go below this backing price. So basically, what the idea is then for this treasury is that everybody has this part of this treasury, or like a token representing this part of this treasury, but obviously everybody's paying a premium. So if everybody would cash out at the same at this price, nobody would get the full money because there is obviously less money than the total market cap of this coin is, and that's the treasury money, and that's his backing price obviously. So the idea is basically the prisoner's dilemma idea, that the only way that everybody's gonna make money is if everybody does the same, and this means that everybody would have to hold their money and just take out, for example, small bits of time Wonderland in the long term. It will make you money, so you don't have to take it all at once when the price jumps, for example. I don't say you shouldn't do it, I just say that's the idea behind it. In theory or in practice, I may also do this if the price would skyrocket and it's like, okay, this price is unsustainable, I'm just gonna sell out 50% of my stack, for example. But this is just pure, like, this has never happened to me before, so I'm just saying I would not be like that stupid to let that money slide. There is a ceiling that it can hit, and if it goes through that ceiling, I'm selling. But yeah, basically you have people that stake their time, and this means like they will lock their value, or they will lock their tokens up for a certain, like, this is not a certain period, but in theory it's a certain, like, it's a defined period. But in practice it's just like liquid, you can stake it, unstake it like instantly. The only thing why you would want to stake it is because every 8 hours the total amount of time is increased. So there's like, for example, 50 50 time tokens in the total flow, and if that's after 8 hours, it would like be like 52 tokens or something, and everybody would get like a little bit of these 2 extra new tokens, so it represents the original value of the 1 token they would have, for example, if everybody had 1 token in the beginning. And then you have also the people that are minting, and minting is basically adding value to the treasury. So the way that the treasury grows is, first of all, by minting. People in the beginning have paid assets to the treasury, or like they staked, like they locked their assets into the treasury, and after a certain amount of time they were able to retrieve these time tokens at a discount, because they added value directly to the treasury, and in return they couldn't stake the money they had, but they also get like a premium that kind of balances out this money you would have gotten if you just bought time and then staked it. So it's kind of balanced. Sometimes it's better to mint, sometimes it's better to stake, and this kind of balance is like the yin-yang balance that keeps the Wonderland time treasury growing. So yeah, this is basically the first segment. Obviously you wouldn't get that the first time you read these, but I guess that's why I want to read this with you guys, because I can already give my thoughts on it, how I perceived it and how I think the system works. Obviously I will make flaws, and people can point this out in the comments if they ever saw this video, but I'm just doing what I can. Let's go on. What is the point of Wonderland? Policy controlled currency system. So for now there's not yet a policy in place. Like we can vote on certain ideas, but the ability to bring these ideas and sometimes make these decisions still lay with the team for now, and with large holders of time tokens. So I get that that's obviously a better startup position for now, but in the future they will implement a governance system where the community would actually have more ability to choose and more decision making in that sense, and then it doesn't solely rely on the team sometimes. Obviously for quick moves and for negotiating, it's better to have like a team that actually knows what's best for the company, because a lot of time people have good intentions but just don't know the business, or just don't know what's more behind it, and that can make things a little bit heated sometimes, unnecessarily heated in my opinion. But yeah, I think both sides are good. We just have to work to get to the middle, and as it seems the governance system they are building up with forum and actually having polls that you can vote on seems nice, so I think it can work in the future, or can work like right now. So it's hosted on an AVAX network, already talked about it. For the real new people, maybe in the future I will do more in-depth talks about the AVAX network and other networks, but for now I'll just focus on this project. Basically they're saying here that they want to create like this equilibrium, like this yin-yang kind of way of every token, like keeping the other token in check, and like an intertwined system that keeps itself operating and growing, and be able to do good things with that money, invest in nice projects, be a seed investor, a first investor, all these kind of different things that normally we would not be able to do if we were just like a retail investor on our own. So, and the short-term vision, yeah, they just want to build wealth, basically. That's what they want to, publicity, like being known in the public, having a lot of people invested in the project is a good thing, and we're definitely growing really fast, so they're doing a really good job with the social media and stuff to keep everything up to date and to keep people informed about what's happening. Like they give daily updates, they're always on the Discord, so this is really great. I haven't never seen such a transparency from any project before. I'm not sure price flatness, why they still keep this on the forum. I don't know, like I don't ever hear people really talk about this. I think it's just a bit still copied from like the own project Olympus, but maybe in the future they actually want to create like a stable pricing for their time token. But as it's looking now, they're also shifting away from this time token, or not shifting away, just putting more emphasis on the staked and invested I would say it, form of this time token. So there are different forms of it, but we'll talk about it later. But basically, I think this is not really interesting to talk about. So how do I participate in the Wonderland? I already really talked about it a bit. Staking and minting. So stakers get more tokens in return, and this is like all the tokens that are being minted by minters. A share of it are also distributed to the stakers, so this is for the balance reasons. Obviously, there has to be a way that stakers get tokens in return, otherwise everybody would mint, and if everybody would mint, no stakers would be there to like keep the price stable and the value locked up. So minters provide like tokens for the treasury, basically stables or liquidity providing tokens. I don't know what. Let's just look it up. LP definition token. I don't know. Liquidity provider. Yeah, okay. I was close. So they get discounted time tokens after like mostly 5 days of vesting. It's called vesting, I guess, but basically locking your value of your tokens into the treasury, and after 5 days you get the full amount of your discounted time tokens. So I actually never minted before, I'm just lazy staker, but I guess like people said, if you really follow the minting prices, you can make a little bit more money minting. But I guess the only thing I saw was actually an interesting time to mint was when there's a real big dip, and then they put the vesting price, or I don't know how it's called, lower, and then when there's a rise in the price again of time, then it's really good to mint, because your discounted time is at a really low price because it's already appreciated while you were vesting it. So I guess in such times it would be better to mint, but I'm just a bit too lazy to follow it. Yeah, it's just for minters, I guess. We can get into minting another time. My idea is that I want to explore every feature of this ecosystem, so eventually we get to minting, but just I want to read over the documentations first, just give you the important stuff. So it's Olympus fork on Avalanche now, mostly anonymous. I guess they're pretty like active, but their identities are not all known, so I guess people would like and dislike that. There's both sides. Doesn't really matter. If the project is good, it's good, and if they're transparent about what they're doing, it's really fine for me. So so yeah, this is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, basically a company. So let's go to the next part, frequently asked questions. So here they say they're not a stable coin, so I don't know why they want to say back then their price flatness. I don't know, just weird. So Magic Internet Money, basically this is their stable coin of their ecosystem, and this is actually like, yeah, one of the best tokens I find. Like, it's connected with so much different projects right now. It's really taking off, I would say, and it's really interesting because so easy to use. Like, everything is so good intertwined, all the connections are really smooth. You can use this token on different networks, so it's really easy to bridge or like to transfer tokens from the Avalanche network to, example, the Ethereum network or something. But we'll explore this like more in depth another time. This is like just basically the stablecoin for this ecosystem. They're saying it's backed, not backed. So in theory, 1 time equals 1 mim. So this is basically one of their basic principles in their contracts or in their like code, that time is created from 1 mim or is like equal to 1 mim, and that there is in theory no real other pricing besides the one mim in essence. But in practice, there's like this treasury obviously with all these coins that are stable coins, but if they for some reason would all go to 0, and I don't think that would ever happen, because like cryptocurrency is here to stay for the future, definitely, especially stable coins. Then time would be 1 mim if that would happen, but I don't think it would ever happen. So basically you're paying always 1 mim plus the premium, and the premium is then the value in the treasury plus the extra value you're paying just to have this token. We both need stakers and bonders, so we don't need sellers. That's the only thing. You can sell off big prices when, in my opinion, when it's really a lot of price action in a positive way, and you're like, this is unsustainable, definitely people are losing their minds right now, then you can sell a big chunk, I would say. But if you're here for the long run and you actually want to see this project thrive, you just sell a bit of it when there's like a nice rise, and then you buy a bit back when it's lower again. So this creates like a stabler price action in a good direction. I don't want to waste too much time about this. This is basically meaning that everybody should do the same, and we all should stake, basically. Just believe in the project. That's basically how we make money. So why is PCV important? I think we missed what PCV is. Okay, let's just quickly look it up. PCV definition. Finance. Permanent capital vehicle. This, so basically a treasury, or like a fund. Oh, that's exactly what it's saying. Yeah, basically the treasury doesn't. They did away this number on the side, or they deleted this number, so they should also have updated the documents, I guess. It's been a while, I guess. They're busy on a lot of different things, and documentation is maybe not the prime. Well, it's a good documentation, but there's just some old stuff in it. Why is it so volatile? Yeah, obviously cryptocurrency in itself is already super volatile, so this just only increases because this is a new project on a new chain, or relative new chain, with new concepts, with totally new ecosystem. The CEO, or like the persons behind Time, are such a great team that they're making so much innovative progress and really like not inventing but like implementing different stuffs of life that were not accessible to us and making them accessible to the people. And it's one of the greatest projects I've found so far, so really excited to talk about this. But yeah, volatility I guess is kind of why would you be looking at this video or invested in cryptocurrencies if you're not like a volatile trader? I guess for now the people who take the biggest risks are the ones that get to profit the most. That's what I'd like to believe. Maybe one day this will happen, maybe it wouldn't happen. It probably won't happen. So maybe this one is also nice. Why does the price of time become irrelevant in the long term? Basically because you're also increasing in time amount, the pricing should like theoretically automatically decrease because there's more time and the market cap doesn't really change just by printing more time. So in essence, if the price is relatively stable to the backing price or the treasury price, then every increase in time will automatically like increase your value, because as long as the treasury is growing, you're getting along with that growth and you're getting the same part but a larger amount of, like, you're getting in percentage wise the same part but you're getting more tokens, and for each token you have you get more yield on the treasury, or you get more percentage wise yield of the treasury. So in that sense you're making more money by holding more and by getting more, but the amount you're getting more is like equivalent to all other people, like percentage wise. So in the long run you should definitely make money out of this, so I'm definitely for the long run. For now I'm just looking at 1 year. This is long for a cryptocurrency project, but if in 1 year I don't see like the things I want to see of the team or of the project where it's going, then I probably could say, okay, it's been a good run, I have had nice time and I got some nice money maybe, but we'll see. So basically, how does a protocol manage this high APY is also, I think, interesting. But it basically says the more people mint, the higher the APY will be, because if the protocol can get this amount of MIM every day from selling their bonds for minters, then it's able to guarantee this percentage yield in the long run. So they just have to like get this quota every day of people minting and putting money in the treasury to be able to achieve this high APY for everybody involved. You don't have to unstake every time you do it. It's just automatically, it auto compounds, that's what they said. So you never, like, you just stake it and you leave it there like a lazy ass I am. How do I track? This doesn't really matter. Wonderland is currently unaudited, it says. I think they are being audited right now. I definitely have to see the results of it. But for now I think like they already passed some inspections, but they're not fully audited, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is also definitely outdated on the site.